Hey guys, what's up? It's really way too dark. Okay, hold on. I think that's better. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Brianna, and welcome back to another one of my back to school videos. This video is going to be my freshman advice video, my high school freshman advice and tips video for you guys that I did last year. If you would like to see last year's freshman advice and tips, that'll be linked down below, but this year's just kind of going to be a recap of all of that plus a little more. And yeah, you guys wanted to see this, so I figured why not do another one. And if you're new to the family and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hey, what's up? I'm Brianna. Click that subscribe button down below so you can join the fam and be notified whenever I post the video. So without further ado, let's get into this video and let's get rolling with the freshman advice. But freshman year, it is your first year of high school. Yes, it can be very intimidating. All the other years that you did of school before your freshman year really don't matter. They don't count because freshman year is when you start accumulating your GPA. It's when college should start looking at you. It's pretty crazy. It's the start of your high school experience and you really want to make it count. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the first little piece of advice that I have for you guys written here on my phone, and that is once you get your schedule is ask friends about your schedule. So if you have older friends that have already, you know, experienced your freshman year, if you have friends that have had some teachers that are on your schedule, so say you have a math class with the teacher and one of your friends had him previously, you know, ask your friend, be like, hey girl, you know, you had this teacher, was he nice, was he mean, did he give out a lot of homework, how many tests did he give out a year? That way you can go into freshman year a little bit less stressed about things and kind of know what to expect. That is definitely what I did. And if you have like a older sibling that was in high school that graduated before you know, ask them about your teachers. I know my brother's older than me and he graduated the year before I actually went into my freshman year of high school, so I was able to come to him and even some of his friends and ask, hey, you had this teacher, like how were they? And you know, if my brother would actually even tell me about a bad teacher, like he would be like, I failed his class, he was so bad and I don't want you to have him. So then my mom would call and we would get my schedule changed for school. That way, do that so it can be a little bit less stressful for you. And then another tip that I actually have for you guys is try to get a map of your school and or get like a bell schedule list, anything like that to kind of help just ease your mind going into the first day of school. So what I did, and my school actually gave these out at orientation / meet the teacher. I don't know if every school has that, but my school had this. But what my school did is at that orientation / meet the teacher, you got a bunch of stacks of papers. I cannot talk today, but you got a stack of papers, and in one of those papers you had a map of the school, and on the back of it was your bell schedule. So what I like to do with this is I like to find my class on my schedule and then find the room number and then highlight that and then go around the school and find where my class is at. That way I'm already prepared for the first day. Most schools will do that, and almost every school has a map of the school. All you have to do is ask if they don't give you one. And then another thing is know your bell schedule. If the school doesn't have a already printed out bell schedule that they give to you or that you can find online, you know, figure out your bell schedule. I know the way my school does it is every class is like 3 15-minute mods. It's really kind of weird, but you kind of have to know your schedule to know when to transition and switch to your class because the bell doesn't ring all the time. So just kind of know the bell schedule and then highlight when you have this class. That way you know when you're going into that class and when you're leaving that class, and try to know that before your first day. You know, if you can't know it your first day, try to your first week work on learning the school and knowing the environment, because yes, it is a new place and yes, it can be a little stressful with all the upperclassmen and people that already know what you're doing, and you're just standing around there like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go. But another thing is, if you're lost, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to go up to someone, you know, go up to them nicely and be like, hey, do you happen to know where this room is? Or hey, do you happen to know what time we have lunch, or blah 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 blah, or when my lunch is, and you know, show them your schedule, whether it be like a principal, guidance counselor, a teacher walking the hallways, something like that. Don't be afraid to go up and ask. Don't be embarrassed because it happens to the best of us. The next thing that I want to talk about is grades, and I want to talk about this because everything that you ever did in school before your freshman year of high school does not matter. So all the work you did, I don't even know why I actually tried so hard in elementary school, middle school, and junior high, because all of that work that you ever did will not matter, because your GPA and your work starts to count the minute you walk in that door and start doing assignments your freshman year, because colleges will look at your cumulative GPA, colleges will look at, you know, your classwork, your grades, everything like that, because grades do matter. But I would just say, you know your classes, you know your work ethic and your ability, you know how you're able to do things, so I can't really tell you how to do it. But personally for me, what I would like to do is, again, once I kind of knew how that teacher worked and how I knew how their class worked, I would like to plan out, okay, well, 70% of my grade is like my test, and then the other half of it is homework. So make sure you do your homework, because that has a lot to do with your grades, because a 50-point homework can really bring down your grade. And then if you do good on a 50-point homework and you do bad on a test, that can kind of help weigh out your grade, as if you were to not do your 50-point homework and then do really bad on a test and be like, oh my gosh, why am I failing this class? So know how your grade system works for your school. That way you can really just plan out, you know, what assignments are more important to work harder on. Not that I'm not saying don't work hard on all your assignments, I'm just saying kind of know how your system worked, because, you know, if you had a missing assignment that was classwork that was, you know, only worth 10% of your grade and it was 5 points, you know, that won't bring down your grade tremendously, but try to keep up with your missing assignments, because that can affect your grade tremendously and it can affect it a lot. So you know, try to keep up with those. Ask your teacher, you know, if you're absent or if you miss work, try not to miss school, because it's really hard to catch up once you miss. But, you know, if you do for whatever reason, go to your teacher. You know, I think at my school you can even do this thing called like pre-planned absence, where if you're gonna miss a week for like vacation, the week before that you can go ahead and get that next week's worth of work and then go ahead and do it and turn it in. That way you won't have to worry about missing work. I know a lot of schools do offer that, but once again, just really try to care about your grades and all the work that you do. Don't slack off, because when you slack off, it starts to bring your grade down slowly, and then you're gonna realize, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. So another thing to do with grades is like, if a teacher is offering extra credit and you have like a 98% in the class, this has happened to me so many times. So for example, one time when I was in freshman year, I was in, I think, like a world history class, and I had I think a 99 or 98% in that class. I was doing really good with an A, and the teacher was like, okay, you guys, here's some extra credit, 30 points extra credit. You guys can do this map of something like this project and then turn it into me to get 30 points extra credit. And I was sitting back there like, I don't need to do that. I have a 98% in her class, homegirl. Like, I don't need to do no extra credit. So I didn't do the extra credit, right? A week later, we had a test on like our unit or something like that, and it was like a 60-70 point test worth like 80% of our grade, and I took that test, and Lord, it was one of those tests where I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I turned it in feeling so guilty that I didn't do that extra credit, because now I didn't do the extra credit and I did bad on the test, where if I would have done the extra credit, you know, and if I would have done bad on the test, it would have still mattered, but it wouldn't have affected my grade so much. I probably still could have had like a C, when in reality I had like a D from failing that test, because once you get your grade down and you don't do your work, it's really hard to get it back up. So that's one thing that you should really keep in mind, is just to try to do all your work and take extra credit when it's handed to you. If teachers offer quiz retakes or test retakes, jump on that mess. You need to do that. Especially for like math classes and stuff, that's my struggle in high school. I know everyone has their subject they struggle with, and math was mine. So when my math teacher would like offer a retake, even if I got, I think for example, it was like capped at 80%. So if you got an 80% or higher, you weren't eligible. But if you got like below an 80%, so like a 79% or below, then you were eligible. So if I had like a 75, sometimes I would second guess taking it, retaking it. But honestly, if you get offered to retake a test, retake it, because you can get a better outcome and your score can be better and it can help raise your grade. So don't just take what you get. Be comfortable retaking tests, because if a teacher offers it, please take it. I'm telling you guys this right now because it's going to help you in the long run, and it's going to help your grade and your GPA and everything like that. So the next little part of advice that I want to go over for you guys is friends and upperclassmen and everything like that. So friends, you're gonna lose friends in high school. You're gonna find out who your true friends are. This is something that I have experienced hands-on, like myself. I have personally experienced this. I don't think hands-on was the right word, but I have personally experienced this myself, losing friends. So, you know, you go in high school with all your friends that you have from middle school and junior high, you're like, oh my gosh, and then, you know, you get there and then you find out, wow, like, Becky just turned into such a rude person. Like, I don't know what happened to her. She's so mean now. And you know, if it were me, I would not want to be associated with someone who like put me down, made me feel bad, and was mean to me, because, you know, friends that you thought were your friends, you go into high school, they meet this group of kids, they start hanging out with them, and they kick you to the curb like you're dirt. You know, you're gonna find friends like that, but sister friend, you know who your true friends are. If you know in your heart that this girl's a true friend, keep her as a friend. Or this guy's a true friend, keep them as a friend. And another thing to go along with that is, you know, every school has the jocks and the cool kids or the popular kids, whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm talking about. Every high school has them. You know, you don't got to be in that group. You know, if you happen to fall into that group, don't let it change you. I'm just saying this, you know, personally, I was never in that group of people. I didn't like that group of people because I didn't like what they were involved in. And, you know, yeah, a lot of people like that are popular are very, very nice, but I hate the word popular because I feel like it's so irrelevant. Like, everyone's a person. being popular is nothing to me. Like, it means nothing. Like, you're here in high school to learn. You're not here for a label. Labels are absolutely, utterly nothing to me, and I don't think they should mean anything to you guys, because you should just be living. You should be going to high school to get that education, girl. You should be going to high school to make some new friends, and that's another thing. Don't be scared to make new friends. You know, if you see someone in the hallway, or if you see someone that's sitting alone, smile at them and say hello. I actually, my freshman year, I found a girl that was sitting alone at the lunch table, just by herself, just eating, and you know, I didn't have a place to sit, so I came up to her and I was like, hey, like, can I sit with you? And she was like, oh my gosh, yes, and what do you know, we're still friends to this day. So I mean, things like that. Don't be afraid to make new friends, because you are going to meet a lot of new friends in high school, and a way you can make new friends is you can join clubs and do extracurricular activities like sports and things like that. That's definitely a good way to make new friends if you're scared to just go up to somebody and be like, hey. So I know my school has a lot of clubs, and I know schools, you know, all over the country have clubs that you can join. Personally, I wasn't in any clubs, and I do regret that, but I like to keep a tight-knit group of friends, and I know who my true friends are and who they aren't. And then another thing that I want to talk about that I have listed on here is upperclassmen. So, you know, you have the sophomores, and the sophomores, they can't say nothing because they were you last year. They can't be like, oh my gosh, the little itty bitty freshman, like, oh my gosh. They can't try to bully you because that was literally them like 8 months ago. Like, they can't say nothing. So you have the sophomores, which, you know, they'll try stuff, but just ignore them. Just come back at them like, well, like, you were literally just a freshman. Have your upperclassmen and your juniors. You know, sophomores aren't considered upperclassmen because, like, they were literally just freshmen. But then you have your juniors and your seniors. So juniors are going to be so overwhelmed with work. You know, you've probably heard this, but junior year is your hardest year of high school. Juniors are just trying to get through the year. That's what juniors are trying to do. They're not going to care about bullying you. They're not going to care about trying to bring you down. They're not going to care about being like, oh my gosh, look at the freshmen. You know, you can even try to make friends with some juniors. I know when I was a freshman, I had a lot of junior and senior friends, but that was just me. But you know, they're not going to try to bring you down, because juniors are so overwhelmed with just trying to get through the year that they honestly don't care, and that kind of sounds mean, but they honestly really just don't. And then seniors are so overwhelmed with trying to apply for colleges and just ready to get the heck out of high school and be done, and they're just ready to live their senior year, and you know, they're bittersweet about how old they're getting and that they're leaving high school, so they're not really going to have time on your hands to be like, oh my gosh, look at the little freshman, because I even know, like, in my school, there was a lot of freshmen that dated seniors, which, whew, was that drama, but that's another whole thing to get into. If you guys want me to do like a video about like relationship advice and drama in high school and stuff like that, give this video a thumbs up and I will do one. But you know, don't be scared of the upperclassmen. Don't think they're gonna bully you, and if they do bully you, you know, that's just rude on their part. But honestly, you know, seniors aren't gonna have time to do any of that, and juniors are just gonna be too busy. So, and then the sophomores, they might try to pick on you, but you know, come back with that comeback, you know, like I told you guys to. So really, that is all like I really wanted like mainly cover in this video that I didn't cover in last year's freshman advice. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see y'all in my next video. I love you all so much, and I hope you have an awesome day. Subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, bye guys.